Hello and welcome to this edition of Business Spotlight. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Kelly Perrin of the Big Ambition Company. So Kelly, very warm welcome. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to learn more about you and about your business today, Kelly. So perhaps we can start with that. Tell me a little bit more about yourself and about the Big Ambition Company. How long have you been in business for?
So the Big Ambition Company started about 15 years ago, and it has completely evolved. So it started off originally as a web design company that myself and my husband started together. And over the years, I've chopped and changed and retrained, and it's kind of become my umbrella brand, if you like, for all of the little bits that I do. So as it currently stands, I am a freelance photographer and designer. It all started with design, really. So photographer and designer, and then I also write books specifically for twins. So that kind of falls under the Big Ambition umbrella as well. And then I also co-own and run an insurance company with my husband. And I am about to embark on doing some business mentoring. So it kind of all falls within that name, Big Ambition Company, with that idea that I have always had huge ambition, but it kind of remains just me, small company, big ideas, as I like to say.
Big ambition.
Yeah.
So Kelly, how do you then get your business right now to stand out? You're obviously doing a variety of things. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So most people are fascinated with the fact that I managed to do quite a few different things.
Yeah.
So most of my kind of clients are intrigued, I suppose, if you like, as to how I manage my time and how I fit everything in. And also being a mum to young twins, that has a massive impact on business as well. But really, it is just that concept of, I've always had a motto that you can do and be anything that you want if you work hard enough at it. So I think that's kind of what makes me stand out.
Excellent. And it's a very distinctive name as well, isn't it? The company you've chosen. So congratulations on that. Has it always been the Big Ambition Company for the 15 years?
It has. Yeah. In the beginning, I didn't just have the Big Ambition Company. I actually originally started as a dog walker. And then the Big Ambition, as I said, was like a web design kind of SEO idea. That was what it started at, but the name, I think, was just so powerful and just encapsulates everything that I stand for. So there's no way I was going to change the name.
Yeah, and you can always add services, right, with that name as well.
Exactly.
Super smart. So 15 years in already, what's that journey been like so far for you? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's not been an easy journey. It's had its highs and its lows, for sure. I was very much kind of going down the working for corporates, being an employee route, because that is kind of what I was kind of told to do, what I was guided to do by my family, because that was the norm. But very quickly realized that I didn't quite fit the mold, didn't quite get on working in big companies. I had too many ideas. I worked above my job role. I kept being told to settle down. You're kind of upsetting people because you're a bit too opinionated, and you're making other people feel like they're not doing enough, and because you're kind of doing too much. And it all just kept not making sense to me. I couldn't understand, why am I being told not to work harder? And then I was really lucky. I met my husband, and he could tell I was really unhappy, and he told me to just quit my job and start something new, start my dream job, and he would support me. And so that's what I did. So I started the dog walking business, which taught me everything about starting and running a business, because it seemed like such a small venture to begin with, but it was 15, 16 years ago. So it was before kind of dog walking was a big thing here in the UK. And So we were one of the first dog walkers in the area. We ended up having an enormous company. We sold franchises. We helped the local council with the regulations that had to be put into place for all the other dog walkers and dog boarders that were coming on. So as much as, oh, I was a dog walker sounds quite small, actually, I had staff, you know, the financial side of it, the marketing. It really did teach me everything about how to start and run a business. And then from there, children kind of came into play. So it was a case of, okay, let's slow this down. And I was doing web design for friends and family at that point. So we kind of started to do a bit more design. And then the design moved into magazine adverts, billboards. I got involved with the local community, helping out with local panto, so design work for that. Then photography kind of naturally came into play because that was a hobby of mine. Then I started getting kind of more photography jobs. So very, very slowly, all these layers started to build, which meant that I could filter out the parts of the business that weren't quite as enjoyable anymore and just focus on doing what was enjoyable and what gave me a nice work-life balance. So it has been a real up and down journey, and there have been moments where I've been in great positions, which has meant that my husband could leave his corporate job and start his own business, and then it kind of chops and changes as we grow and we do different things. So yeah, not an easy journey, but definitely a worthwhile journey.
It's great. And it's great that you've been able to return that to your husband as well, for him supporting you, and then you be able to support him. It's great.
Yeah, we've tried many times to work together in the past, and it quite often has not worked. And then when he eventually said to me, I think I want to do the insurance thing now on my own, but I'm going to need help. It was a great opportunity because I have no interest in selling insurance, but I can do all of the other stuff. I can do the finance, I can market the business, I can help him, support him in that way, which means that he can continue to be a great salesman, and then he still gets that kind of feeling that he's doing it just for him. And it's the first time we've managed to actually have a business together that works.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. So that maybe start to point a little bit towards the future then. What are the plans for the Big Ambition Company and everything else going forward?
Yeah, so for me personally, I have a real passion for mentoring. I did 3 years of voluntary mentoring for the Prince's Trust, and absolutely loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. I feel like I've got a good backlog now of experience of running businesses, and I really enjoy working with younger people, like young adults, which is what I had an opportunity to do with for the Prince's Trust. So for me, moving forward, the next step really is to kind of launch that mentoring business and start creating a kind of, when I left college, I was very much kind of on a path of there's only really one option, and that's to go and get a job. So I would like to be able to go back to that point and say to young people leaving college who don't really feel like they fit the mold, and say to them, actually, there is something different. Do you want to explore it? And so that is where that's the direction I'm going in now.
Great. Another twist and another evolution. And Kelly, with obviously you've started a number of businesses now. What would you see some of the main challenges for this particular mentoring chapter or new venture, however you want to look at it?
For me, one of the biggest challenges is content creation, and kind of getting yourself out there, and just that visibility, finding your audience, finding the right audience, and showing them the worth that I think is going to be my biggest challenge. Coming up with content that is relatable to, you know, a younger crowd, because, you know, I'm 40 now, so trying to think back to when I was in that 17, 18-year-old mindset, you know, the world has changed so much. So I think that's going to be my biggest challenge. Got to start doing some serious research.
Okay, good. Something to get your teeth stuck into then.
Yes.
So when you look back so far, if you were to choose one lesson from probably the many that you have learned, what would you, if you were to pick one, what would it be?
One lesson would be, don't worry about failing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've spent so much time worrying that I'm not going to get it right, and worrying that if I fail, that's the end. And actually, time has shown me that failure is not a bad thing. Failure teaches you what not to do next time. Mm-hmm. And it also provides great opportunities. So I spent a lot of years with that kind of fear of failure going on, and constantly battling before I put myself out there to do new things. And I have failed at some things, and I'm probably stronger for it. So the biggest lesson is, failure is not a bad thing.
Excellent, great advice. And my next question is very appropriate for you, because it's on a similar theme, and it's about, if you could give 18-year-old Kelly one piece of advice, what would it be? But of course, with you going into mentoring young people, this is especially an appropriate question to ask you.
Yeah, it would definitely be, do it sooner. Don't be scared. Do it sooner. If you don't follow the grain, then go against it. Don't try and fit the mold. You know, take the risk. Try something new. That would definitely be the advice I would have wanted to have had back.
And you'll be giving your new young clients.
Yeah, hopefully.
And so I think the next question, I already get that you're very inspired by what you do, but that's really my interest next, is what inspires you to keep doing what you do or evolving as well?
I think it's there's a couple of things. For me, I'm really inspired by my children, because I want them to grow up in a world where they watch mummy and they know they can do anything. And, you know, I had a fantastic childhood. I have the best parents in the world. And as we've got older as a family, my parents have definitely changed their mindset, in that actually it's okay to do something else. But certainly, when we were younger, it was very much, you know, you grow up, you get married, you get a job, you have children, and and that's that. So I am inspired constantly by my children, because I want to show them that anything is possible. And you know, my daughter said to me the other day, she's only 7, and she said to me the other day that she had told somebody at school that she was going to be a singer, she's going to be a teacher, she's going to be a dancer, and she's going to be a photographer. And her friend said to her, "Oh, you can only pick one." And she had said to her friend, "No, I don't have to just pick one. I can do all of those things." And so that is what keeps me going. That's what I think I'm teaching them. The best lesson is that do anything you want, as many things as you want, just as long as they make you happy.
And follow the role model of mum.
Hopefully.
So Kelly, so my last question really is there any additional news you want to share about the Big Ambition Company, any specific events, anything that you'd like to share with our Spotlight Network?
Well, obviously I'm about to push the mentor in. I've just started writing courses that you can get on Udemy. So I've got a couple of free courses on there, just about business basics and how to start business from scratch, and if you're kind of in those early stages. So I'm going to be building up my courses. And yeah, just to watch out really for the kind of mentoring. I want to create quite a lot of free content for people, because I am targeting those younger generation who don't necessarily have a budget to start investing in themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it really going forward, is push the mentoring and hope that people want to become a part of it and want to help, and help create this new generation of kind and fair business owners.
Great. Well, I'm sure that you'll have lots of people clamoring to join your community and be mentored by Kelly. So I wish you every success with everything of the future. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing everything with our Spotlight Network, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.